comedy talk show, The Random Kristian Show. Today, The Random Kristian Show is interviewing comedian John Branyan. The Random Kristian Show is brought to you by Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Buena. Just visit Mrs. A Famous for recipes and where to find Mrs. A's near you. The Random Kristian Show is proudly supported by Colonel James Neal Broad Associate Advisor. This group is a great resource and network for creatives. Find the advisor on Facebook today. Intro music provided by the Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify or at deadcampers.com. Go to creativecoatingskc.com to get your logo and brand on all sorts of promotional products. Now here's your host, Kristian Random.
And here I am, and there is Andrew. This makes us the Random Kristian Show. Welcome to it. It is Friday, 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Pacific, 3 Mountain. I don't know why I do it in that order, but
it's the weirdest like Yoda order that you could ever do, like time zones.
Order Yoda, you say. I cannot do a Yoda impression, so I won't.
Yes.
Even though I kind of am Yoda-ish.
You do have a green tint to you. You know, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
I don't know what that's about either. So I don't know. You have
just not enough natural sunlight in my life.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
no, you're a vampire. You clearly need to feed.
I'm feeling a bit peckish.
Right, yeah.
Send me a rat or two. Yes, because I am Nosferatu.
Right.
Yeah. I'm freaking myself out. All right.
Yeah,
it's yes, Friday, the Random Kristian Show. John Branyan, legendary genius comedian. I came across him a while back, and just on a whim, a few months ago, I think I just sent him. I'm like, maybe he will. And boom, he replied, and we got it hooked up. And ever since it's like he keeps popping into my feed on my social medias and stuff. And so, I mean, and even when I see the same ones over, you know, it's a different setup or something, but it's still just hilarious.
No, it's funny. I didn't put 2 and 2 together because I had seen a clip of his dry bar special after I had watched Tommy's.
Okay.
But then when I rewatched it for the show, I'm like, oh, this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Oh my God. Well, and the thing is too, the voice, I guess maybe I've heard bits and I wasn't able to watch or something. And because I was like, where do I know this voice from? It's obviously something like I've let something play in the background, you know, and I'm like, this guy is genius. Well, yeah, he is. He's a legendarily genius, and very, very excited and blessed to have him along for the ride today. So hang on to your hats for that. Also, Andrew.
Yes.
Happy pre-Father's Day today.
Yeah, and happy pre-Father's Day to you, sir.
Well, you know. I mean, my kids hate me. You actually have a kid that likes you, so we're good.
Ish.
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, he's hitting the preteens, so
he's still impressionable right now. So. I'm in a window right now.
Yeah, you're still safe.
Of still he likes me. So
yeah, and he's growing like a sprout. So stay on his good side.
Officially taller than Jamie right now.
Oy vey.
Yeah. So we were trying a new restaurant downtown, and they were standing in front of me, and he's got like just the tiniest bit, and I whispered into Jamie's ear, I'm like, don't look now, but your son is taller than you,
and he's in bare feet.
Not the thing to say to her in public.
Oh, Lord. Did she break down?
No,
my baby's going on.
First, because we were in a restaurant, she's like, no, like she started to yell, no, he's not. But then she realized, it's like, no, he's not.
You will get shit.
And the rest of the night, there were at least 10 more back-to-back measuring.
Get up. Get him.
He's taller. Yeah, he's taller. So,
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, I get it. And it's very exciting for when children, surpass you in height for some reason. I'm not sure. I remember the day when I realized I was bigger than my father, and
yeah,
but my father was also very physically fit and played a lot of handball.
Mm-hmm.
So open hand slaps were like getting hit with a brick wall. It was, yeah. So I always stayed on his good side as best as possible, and
right.
Until the day where I went, Dad, I don't think I'm really that afraid of you anymore. And then he, kicked me in the crotch, and I fell down crying. And
right.
That was a happy Father's Day.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So, Tony Adams, the Bacon Whisperer. Speaking of, he's going to be a husband soon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Mrs. Bacon Whisperer?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I guess we could call her, yeah. Or what goes good with bacon?
Oh, bacon and eggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Women have eggs. Literally. That's
a little meta for what we're trying to do here.
Well, I was going to say she could be Mrs. Sausage, but that just doesn't sound right either. So it's
well, she could be lettuce and tomato.
No, he's already the Bacon Whisperer.
But BLT, get it?
Yeah.
She's lettuce and tomato. He's bacon. They make BLT.
All right. I'm going
It's a stretch.
with that.
It's a stretch. I get it.
I get it. A little bit out there.
Yeah, no, I'm reaching.
Yeah. But hey, it's worth a shot. There you go, T-Bone.
You know what? This is a random 9. What to call Mrs. Bacon Whisperer?
Oh,
I think I'm going to work on this.
Yeah. Okay. Get the crack team on that.
Right.
And, so anyway, it's Father's Day. I figured this is a great segue because I was going to reach into my database and,
your daddy base,
come up with a database.
Your daddy base,
dad.
Right.
Anyway. Data.
Right.
We've worn the woke joke out before it even got that close.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. That's my fault completely. I shouldn't have even gotten that way. But it's called a segue into what we call the Random 9 List. That's right. Every week we've got our fabulous, Andy has a fabulous crack team now. He's got a team that isn't on crack anymore. They're just young, naive, and can come up with some funny stuff. So we now have a Random 9 list for what is the title of our Random 9 list this week, sir?
So it's the 9 random best fatherly advice for surviving a horror movie since today is Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's right. Oh, wow, a double whammy.
Yes.
That's very creative, by the way.
Right. Yes.
So, I guess without further ado, we should just let you come in and, throw a little salt and pepper on the bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Give us a Random 9 list. What do you think?
Let's do it.
I think just need the band to...
Hey, they're so excited. They never get to play.
I know. It's once a week every now and then.
Right? And we were off last week, so they've been itching. They
get a little... they're musicians, and they're weird.
No.
So
yeah.
Anyway. All right. Thank you, man. All right. Here we go. All right. So, Random 9 list. Let's...
9 random fatherly advice bits for surviving a horror movie. Number 9. If any gardening equipment was used in a murderous fashion, it needs to be cleaned and oiled and put back up because Dad's got work to do this weekend. Yes. This lawn is not going to cut itself.
That's right.
Right.
And you don't want to have faulty equipment.
No, right. And, and the bushes cannot have blood stains on them.
No, hose them down when done.
Just clean the equipment. Just clean off the shears.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely correct, sir.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, all right. So there. Okay.
All right. Number 8.
Numero 8.
Randomly father advice for surviving horror movies. If attacking with a golf club, do not use a wood. Use an iron or a wedge, or the sand wedge preferably. The angle on it is going to just boom right in there. You can attack. You good. It's a good strong club. Better to use a short distance club as well.
Yeah, well, that's
because you're not necessarily attacking at a long distance.
I'd say 9 or an 8, just to keep them at pay.
Right. Yeah, but to pick a club depending on how close the attacker is. You know, nothing beats it like a good putter in the eye. I tell you, right? Keep your short game good. That's what I'm saying, right? Okay. Number 7.
You burned every golf joke you could there. You did
exactly. Always keep a stash of stacks hidden around the house. You know, strategic places where you may need to hide during an attack, or have little power bars and waters. Just right
well, plus, or if you are going on a mad rant because you're psychotic and a dad, you may tucker yourself out and need to re-energize.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. Right.
I get it. And that's disturbing, but yeah. All right. Let's go to number 7.
Number 6, actually. Number 6.
And it's scaring me that the kids came up with all these.
Oh, no, it is. It is, right? Always keep your kitchen cutlery at its sharpest.
Oh.
Yeah. No, keep the Cutco guy's number on speed dial, because he can come right over and just sharpen those up for you, no cost.
The what?
The Cutco guy.
The Cutco guy.
My friend, so one of my best friends worked for this company called Cutco for years. They were door-to-door knife salesmen. And it is literally the best knife that I own. I only bought one, right? Or actually, no, he gave me a set for my wedding. Yeah. And so anyway, we have like the good set, right? And we've never needed to sharpen them, but we should get them sharpened, but they come over, do it for free. So
I like it.
Shout out to Cutco.
There you go. New hopeful sponsor someday.
Right.
All right. Numero 6.
Number 5. Number 5.
Cinco. Numero 5 de Mayo.
Yeah. Eliminate all landlines in your house. Never answer block calls. Killers don't tend to leave voicemails.
That's true, and it would be.
It's like you're not gonna get a voicemail like 2 days later. I'm outside your house. Like.
Please open the door.
It's cold.
This is my 3rd call.
It's cold.
I've really got a bloodlust thing going on, and
right.
I just want to come in, kill a few people. I'll leave soon.
Christian, be honest. As men of our age,
I was gonna say, what are you blaming me for?
No. As men of our age, you have a voicemail. When do you typically listen to it?
Occasionally. Huh? I actually have some voicemails that I've saved that were very special.
I'm not talking about saved voicemails. When did you listen to those voicemails? After, like, how long did it take you to actually press play on them after you got them?
There may have been a little delay in the process. Just saying.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, because nowadays people usually send the text afterwards, and you're like, "Oh, I'm in the middle of pooping or something." Yeah.
No, it's true. Anyway, number 4.
Numero 4.
The only acceptable place to fight off a killer in the house is the garage, because if you do gain the upper hand and take him out, this is the easiest place to clean up the stains, and it's the only place that allows blood stains on, because you can pass those off as oil, and then nothing's going to get on mom's carpet.
It's kind of weird that this has been thought out a little bit here, Andrew.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. Nothing.
No,
nothing.
What are you saying?
Nothing. I'm not saying anything. I'm just glad I'm in
Kansas
City. And oh my God!
Am I in Oregon right now? No, I'm not. All right. Red alert.
Whoa, red alert.
Red alert.
Okay, sorry. Numero tres.
If your social media feed starts to pop up with, machetes, other items that can be used for nefarious activities, be careful what you talk about, because the phone is always listening. What? It's listening to us right now.
It really is.
I'm gonna go on Facebook later, and there's gonna be hey, get this machete. Great thing, it's like, come on.
This knife sharpener is just perfect for you.
Right.
It is actually listening to us right now.
Yes. No, it absolutely is. And it's not laughing either.
I've got several feeds of chainsaw sales. So
right.
Yeah.
Number 2. 9 random fatherly advice bits for surviving a horror movie. When home alone, don't wear any revealing clothing, close all blinds and drapes, lock all doors, don't answer the phone or the door, don't order food, don't do anything.
I feel naked.
I told you don't wear revealing clothing, Kristian.
I like to reveal the look.
I like to reveal this.
It's the Random Kristian Show.
Hey, all right.
So basically, just be a hermit.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't give them the option to come into the house. That's the whole thing.
Henceforth, COVID.
Yes. Socially distance yourself
from everything.
Exactly. Yes. Right.
Point a bubble.
Yeah. Number 1.
Numero uno.
When buying a house, make a note of all possible exits in every room, and when fully decorated, make a mental note of what you can use as a weapon in every single room of your house.
Stabby stab.
Exactly. But yeah, just have those mental notes ready for when an attack happens. You never know what room you're going to be in. So you need to know the quickest exit and the quickest weapon to get to.
Hide a gun in every room.
No. But you know what? I mean, if mom's not necessarily attached to that vase, I'm going to use it to get out.
Make sure it's a big, heavy, solid.
Right. Vase. No, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
So yeah. So there
you go. There you go.
You can jump out the window and beat somebody up all at the same time.
Yeah.
Unless it's like 3 stories up. Wow. Yeah, what about apartment dwelling?
Hey, there's got to be an exit. There's got to be a fire exit, right?
You would think, but no.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be.
Just get a parachute.
Right. So this had me thinking, Kristian. What food would you stash around the house?
Well, let me tell you, if I'm going to stash food for snacks around my house, I'm going to be thinking about this little lady right here, Mrs. A's famous salsa buena. That's right.
Some restaurant quality chips.
Oh, man.
And from Mrs. A's famous salsa buena. What? Okay, remind me now. Which salsa is your favorite again?
I thought it would be salsa verde.
The salsa verde. That's right.
Yes, because it's absolutely delicious. So
that's right. And you put that on like flank steak and stuff, right?
I actually, we put it on some steak. I put on a lot of things. I put on ice cream.
We put that stuff on everything.
That's right. Waffles. Ooh.
Oh, wait. Did you just?
Okay.
No. I'm a big fan of the medium.
Yes.
I did not mind the hot though. I thought the hot was really good. I tend to not like the hot salsa that much, but this was actually hot salsa that I could stomach.
Yeah, and you can taste the flavor. It's not like scorching your mouth. You get the flavor, but there's heat, and it's nice, and it blends well.
You know what else it doesn't do?
It puts a little sweat on your brow.
little sweat on your brow, but that's not from the onion.
No, because there is no onion.
No onion in the salsa.
How does she do it?
Right?
It's amazing. It's all fresh ingredients. Nothing's frozen. No preservatives. Nothing like that. It's just made fresh and delicious all the time. That's the reason they're from California all the way to Colorado. The entire Pacific and Mountain time zones are covered with Mrs. A's famous salsa buena, kind of like a delicious burrito I had at one point. But Andrew, if you were going to add some flavors or bring back some flavors of Mrs. A's famous salsa buena, which ones would you?
I am a huge fan of the mango pineapple.
Mango pineapple, I think that's good.
And I heard the legend of the red delicious salsa.
There is a legend.
I heard the legend of it. Right. Okay.
Absolutely true. Well, you know what?
What?
Andrew, they're coming back, baby.
What?
They are coming back. They're going to be available soon. They're in pre-production right now. So if you're anywhere, West Coast, Rockies, and back to the ocean, go to the store, find it. You know what? Better yet, just go to mrsafamous.com. You'll find a store that sells it, and it's probably near you. If you don't see it at a store near you, ask the grocer for it, because it's going to be in the refrigerated section, because it stays fresh that way. That's how it works. This is why we go back and forth, keeping things fresh and new all the time, every time. All right. So Mrs. A's famous salsa buena. Also on mrsafamous.com, there's delicious recipes for using these salsas, and there's other foods in there as well. But it's all there, and you'll see her. She's going to be back here on the show here, hopefully in a month.
Okay, maybe. Come
on. She's out pushing the product,
right?
And she's actually trying to find a way to bring it out further east, and hopefully we get it out here in the Midwest soon, Mrs. A. Because some of us get a little freaky if we don't get our salsa soon. Anyway, so check it out. Mrs. A's famous salsa buena, refrigerated section, 3 delicious flavors, 2 new coming out. Find it, get it, enjoy it. Mrs. A.
Bruh.
There. I had to end it with something besides me. So
right. Yeah.
And what better way than
bruh.
So now we just bring it on, and oh yeah, we've got a guest.
We have a guest.
We do have a guest.
We have a guest.
This gentleman been out on the circuit for years. He has done quite a few different dry bars. And if you people do not know about dry bar comedy at this point, I'm not sure what's wrong with you, or where you've been, what kind of technical rock you've been living under. I guess if you're under a rock, technically there's probably no internet.
Right. Yes.
Or cell signal, because you're under a rock, and it's pretty hard to. I'm just saying. But this gentleman, John Branyan, just pure genius in his work. He's he's been, I think, kind of tried to be imitated by some. The guy just, it's always fresh. It's always just incredibly creative, and so relatable.
Oh God. So relatable.
It's been absolutely amazing. And for some reason, his intro music's not playing. I'm sorry. I was kind of trying to build up into the intro music. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him in. The amazing, the legendary guy on the green room. There he is. Mr. John Branyan.
I live in the Midwest, so I don't have access to the salsa.
No, not yet, sir.
And thanks a lot for that intro music that you promised me was going to be stellar. Remember that? Remember how I came in early so that you guys could work out all of the technical stuff? I came, and we did a pre-check yesterday. So I actually came in early twice so that we could work out all of the technical bugs. And you promised me a career-changing bit of bumper music.
Now, I don't think it was actually career-changing, but oh my gosh, now it's going.
I know what I heard.
Yeah.
I'm sitting backstage listening to you guys talk, and it occurred to me, I have never thought before about what sort of food I would need to have available while I'm surrounded by a zombie apocalypse or bloodthirsty vampires. Can you imagine how awful it would be to be, hunkered down in the backseat of my car with werewolves? And I'm like
clawing at it. And you're like, I'm famished.
My family has been slaughtered. My neighbors are torn limb from limb. And here I sit in the backseat of my car with salt vinegar chips. Are you kidding me?
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
I should have planned ahead.
Yeah, I know. What do you mean there's no water here? This is incredible.
Mm-hmm. My family's gone, but I'm going to snap into a Slim Jim right now. Let me tell
you. Well, what would be the best snack for, I guess surviving any kind of, I'd say beef jerky.
I seriously like protein bars, power bars, something like that, just so you get your sort of full regiment of what you need, because jerky's great, but it's salty, so you're gonna need water, and who knows if you're gonna have access to water. Obviously, I've thought about this way too much.
I was gonna say, right. Wow, you're really put some thought into this.
The last thing you want to be before you're taken over by a demonic entity is to be dehydrated.
Exactly, right?
Well, maybe it's a deterrent to the demon. They're like, yeah. It's way too unhealthy. I'm going out to the West Coast where they all work out. And
yeah.
That's probably why Midwesterners survive most apocalyptic things, I would think.
Right.
Bacon is a solid choice. That is true, Tony. Yes. Tony Adams, the Bacon Whisperer. If you haven't seen him, make sure you go check out his webpage or Facebook page. And anyway, it's bacon. It's just amazing.
Yeah. You pre-cook bacon and then leave it around the house, though?
In Ziploc baggies. Don't ever deny the bacon.
Good
Lord. Andrew, what's gotten into you?
What? I'm thinking. You got to think about this stuff. It's very important.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea. Unrefrigerated pork is always a good idea.
That's right.
Use some egg salad.
Right. That's been out in the sun for a little while.
Little baggies of unrefrigerated egg salid.
What's that smell? That's the emergency stash. What are you talking about?
Those are emergency rations. Leave those alone.
Right. If the mummy doesn't get you, the botulism will.
Yes, there it is. Oh, geez. Well, Mr. Branyan, thank you so much for taking out your time and hanging out with us. And I know you've been very, 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 very busy. You've got quite a bit going on lately now, don't you? You've got your online courses.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing one-on-ones with people, coaching, comedy, and now not just like, is it performing or just writing, or is it both, or
for the courses?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that comedy is an effective way, humor is an effective way to communicate any idea. And so a lot of times people will go, well, I don't need to know that because I'm not planning to be a stand-up comedian. And just because you're not going to be a comedian doesn't mean that you can't benefit from learning how humor works. And I can teach you. I can't make people funny. That is a gifting that comes from beyond my level. Yeah. But I can teach you the principles of how I wrote the Three Little Pigs.
Genius.
I can show you the processes that I use to create material. Anybody can do it. People are already doing it. They just don't know that they're doing it. And so what the course does is I basically walk you through the creative process, and you will go, hey, I already know about this. And it's like, I know you do, but you've never put it into an organized fashion before. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so now, and your classes, do they come in like a bundle? You gotta just one at a time, or how do you do it?
Well, there's a couple ways to do it. I've got an online course that's self-paced, and you can take that, and it's just there. You can go through and take at your leisure, I believe is the technical term that they use, that all the kids are using today. Right. At your leisure.
Whippersnappers.
The whippersnappers. And then I also have a workshop, I haven't launched that yet, but it's in the works, and that'll be probably a 4 to 6 week course that will meet once a week, and there'll be homework assignments, just like a real school. And then I also have one-on-one consulting, which is just as open-ended as you can be. If you've got material you want to punch up, if you've got an idea for a script, whatever, we will brainstorm, and we will spitball, and we will make your project a reality.
Or maybe some podcasts be funnier than what they actually think they are.
I can take mediocre podcast hosts and make them listenable. So if you know of any of them, if you know of any guys that are struggling in the podcast world,
we'll put that out to our friends.
Yeah,
our friends that need that help.
I'm going to be sending a text right after the show.
Yeah. Send them my way.
So we'll tell you the real reason why we brought you here, then, John.
I was going to say, there's nothing going on right now, so it's just us. Let's go ahead and start the course.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
All right. So I know you probably get berated about it all the time, but the Three Little Pigs, how did that come about? Because it truly is just pure genius. And like I said before the show, I've heard it, I think, about 4 or 5 times now, just as it pops into my feed from you being on most of my social media. It's so creative and so genius. How did you come up with such?
That's actually the reason that I wrote my comedy course, was because I kept getting the question all the time, how do you come up with material? And so I have an answer for that. The Three Little Pigs specifically came when I was reading Bram Stoker's Dracula, like the original Dracula.
Oh, wow.
And I decided a few years ago, I'm going to read through some classic literature. And I started with Moby Dick. That was my first one that I read. And if you are going to start reading through the classics, I cannot recommend highly enough that you not do that you don't pick Moby Dick as your first.
It's a bit of a dry run.
It's a bit of a slog, and it's super thick, and it tells you a whole bunch of stuff. I thought that Moby Dick was a story about Captain Ahab tracking down, the white whale. I thought that's what the story was about. And it's really not. It's a whole bunch of stuff about whaling that nobody's interested in. Nobody cares about. Here's 60 pages on ambergris. And I was cursing
whale oil.
Yep. There's a whole thing about that. I was cursing Herman Melville's name a quarter of the way into this book. But I switched to Dracula. I finished
number
Moby Dick,
90 on how to use whale oil.
Yeah. Well, I finished it. So that tells you a little bit something about my perseverance.
I was going to say
my character.
Your will and testament of strength there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am to be envied. And I'm reading Dracula. I'm sitting on an airplane, and there's a scene where a woman comes into the room, and a couple or 3 guys are there, and they basically say hello to her, and it takes them 2.5 pages to issue this salutation. And it hit me. It's like, my goodness, I am not smart enough to say hello to people back in this era, back when English language was more robust, back when people knew more than one word for things. We had more than an F word to describe everything that we talk about. And so,
or instead of sup.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally this long poetic salutation that they entered. And I thought, man, what if we still talk like that? And that got me thinking about, well, what if that might be kind of funny if I took something that was recognizable, that everybody understood what I was talking about, but I just tricked it up with this English language like was in this book, so that even though you understood what I was saying, you still didn't understand what I was saying because of the language.
Because you kind of get lost. Wait, where were you going with this? Oh, it's a hello. Oh,
yeah,
I get it.
And so then I just needed to pick something that was going to be familiar enough to people that they would recognize it. Right. And so I didn't know it was going to be Three Little Pigs. I thought for a couple of days about different things that I could, bring up. And then I just went and asked Google what the most popular and recognizable fairy tales are, and it gave me the Three Little Pigs, and it gave me Goldilocks, and it gave me Jack and the Beanstalk, and it gave me some of those, but the Three Little Pigs was far and away the most recognizable tale.
Absolutely.
So that's what I did,
and you still tied Goldilocks in with it as well, so that was still pure genius on that end.
Well, I actually did a version of Goldilocks too after
geez, here we are.
Yeah, the familial Bruin sloth and Goldilocks.
Yeah. So it's funny.
It's a slow read, I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. I'll give you the little thing on the back. This is for Goldilocks. It says, "Our mordant breakfast sends a familial sloth on an impromptu constitutional. When a wayward lass transgresses their hitherto vacated dwelling, articles are afflicted, repast is ingested, and the Bruins with forbearance comport."
Oh my God.
That's great. One of my favorite birthday presents that I ever got from my wife was Two Gentlemen of Lebowski. Mm-hmm. What if William Shakespeare wrote The Big Lebowski?
Oh my goodness gracious.
There you go.
It's join the knave and Sir Walter on a wild ride of mistaken identity, kidnapping, bowling, and a rug that in faith really tied the room together. And it's brilliant from start to finish. But I mean, there are a couple of this guy's done a couple of these, but your Shakespearean telling of the Three Little Pigs is just next level.
Yeah,
it really is. And it's just incredible. The hearing the audience when you tell it, hang on every line, is because it's such a long bit too, and long bits tend
way too long.
Tend to not necessarily.
But you don't really realize it.
But that's the thing, is that the pacing of it is so. I mean, it's so expertly thought out that it's literally they hang and they are there until the very last line. It's incredible.
I did not expect that when I first. It was in my notebook, written for, I don't know, a year before I decided to try it one night, because I just thought it was too long, and I thought it was too much. So they're not gonna like it, and so I had an escape plan. You always have an escape plan when you go up on the stage. You've always got to have a way to get gracefully out of a bit that's not working. And so I said, I'm just going to do the first line. I'm just going to do, in time past, and they're going to stare at me. Right. Like I just uttered something in an alien language.
With this,
yeah. And then I'm going to just ignore it and go on to my next bit, and that'll be the end of it. But I did the first line. In time past, so not long ago, there lived pigs in stature little and number 3, who, being of an age both entitled and inspired to seek their fortune, did set about to do thusly. And they just went bananas. I mean, this audience just exploded. And I was not prepared for that. And I said out loud into the microphone, I said, "Really? Do you?" I said, "Really?" I said, I know the whole thing. Do you want to hear it? And they were like, "Yes." And so I stumbled through. I didn't even do it well. I didn't have it real well because I wasn't expecting it to work.
Right.
So I stumbled through it, and even telling it badly, it still went, so
amazing.
I had a couple of guys with me in the car, and on the way home I said, I think this Three Little Pig thing has legs, because I didn't even tell it well, and it worked great. So
there's like, yeah, whatever, John, totally stole the show from us. Now, yeah, I mean, you watch, they are hanging on every word, because not only, I think they're trying to process it, but they're processing it as you're doing it. And then all of a sudden, like, oh my, and they're realizing how well you put that whole joke together. I mean, because there is layers to it. And then all of a sudden, the kicker is when you get to the third pig.
Yeah, the third pig is, I know a bunch of people who are the third pig. That's where he came from.
So what?
Yeah.
I mean, which totally, I mean, they're thinking, oh, he's going to say something. Oh no, he just full on sup, I mean, and I think that really changes the gear right there. And they're back into a whole nother level of that joke. And it really is. It's so incredibly well done. And I mean,
well, I think the reason that people like it, and it doesn't hit everybody. I mean, there are people in every audience that are like, I do not understand why this is funny, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But they do know the story. The story is so familiar that even though the language is completely, it's completely over the top, they can still follow along. And I think that's why it's so fun, because it's like, I still know what he's talking about, even though I don't understand a word of that.
Right.
You're all trying to make some weird kind of sense of things that I don't understand exactly, but I got the pig thing.
Yep.
No, it's amazing. And now a lot of your humor is just so super relatable too. I mean, the thing about the mom, and I'm gonna screw up your bit. I don't want to do that, but not like I'm gonna try and recite it, but
the fabric softener bit.
The fabric softener, but the sayings moms would use.
Oh yeah.
The Shakespearean sayings.
Yeah.
Well, till the cows come home.
Oh yeah. Mom,
there's never been a cow here. I mean, it's nothing you really think about, because you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Cows have never come home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are all legitimate sayings that my mother used, and that's another thing that you have to learn about comedy, is that it has to be true. There has to be an element of truth in it, or else it's not funny. Yeah. And that's there's AI is coming on strong, and there's a lot of people have been asking me, well, you think AI is going to take over and do and AI can't do comedy.
It's not creative.
Well, it can assemble things that are funny, but it requires a human being to ascertain that it's funny.
Right.
So the AI can crank out all of this material, but it takes a human being with an actual sense of humor to look at what AI has created and decide whether or not it's funny. And so, we've got the AI thinks that absurdity is a key to comedy, and it's right, but its understanding of absurdity is not an exaggeration of some sort of a truth. It will literally just take these crazy things and jam them together and go, like this, and it's like, no, this isn't funny, because there's no truth in this. This is just the ramblings of a madman. And there's
welcome to the show.
Yeah.
No, and plus, I mean, you don't get the timing, the emotions, the delivery, I mean, well, I'm going to throw you in with these people, but guys like Robin Williams, not Don Rickles, yes, but Jonathan Winters, all these great comedian and comedic actors. There's so much more in there, and it's so you can't just have this series of like you said, it's just absurdities. And they can, I mean, that, yes, in essence, they are funny, but only when they're parlayed by a human being that's putting emotion and breath into them and putting them out into uh, a form. They're bringing it to life.
Well, Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters and any of those guys are good examples, because you watch them and you go, well, they're just doing absurd things, right? It's just absurd, but it's actually not. It's rooted in some sort of a truth. They'll start with, imagine if your bus driver, had too much cold medicine or something like that, right. and then it goes from there. And so there's always a premise that has some plausibility and truthfulness to it. It's not just crazy ideas connected to nothing floating around. There's always an element of something that's reality. And then from that reality, you can go out and be crazy, but it won't be comedy unless it's rooted in something that we all understand to be true.
Right.
Well, yeah, and there's a true art to delivery too.
Yeah.
Anybody, you could give the same joke to 3 different comedians. They'll tell it 3 different ways, and it may hit 2 out of 3 times because the third one just didn't know how to deliver it.
Well, they have a different style, different emphasis, and a different cadence, and there's a lot of things that are factors.
Right.
But it all starts with a grain of truth. Well, what you did, in opening your show, where you talk about how you've got a dad, how would a dad survive, a horror movie experience? Well, that's rooted in a thing that we can all understand. We understand horror movies, and we understand how dads are, and so you put those 2 things together, and now you can make comedy.
Right. Yeah. But there's truth. I've identified a weapon in every room.
Usually it's the mothers that do a better job of identifying weapons, because they can basically turn any household object into a weapon.
No, it's true. Yeah.
When the kids act up, everything becomes an implement of discipline.
Right.
The flip-flop. Yes.
Hot Wheels racetracks.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I forgot about that. Dude. My butt didn't, but the brain did, because I blocked it out. But
wooden spoons, hairbrush.
Oh, dude, wooden spoons. Yeah, the ones with the wooden spoons with the hole in them.
Yep. Yardsticks.
Yeah.
My mom used to come at us with a yardstick.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a willow tree at our house, and my mom said, "Go outside, get a twitch, or a switch." That's what she called it, and which made me twitch. But so smarty me, I went and picked the smallest, little thinnest thing I could find. I was there for a good 20 minutes while my mom just sat there and. Yeah, I know it doesn't hurt right now. Just wait. Okay, Mom, what? Oh, things are getting warm. This isn't good. Okay, I get it. I get it now. I get it. Yeah.
It's the death of 1,000 cuts.
Hey, and for everybody listening on the audio version, we've got comedian John Branyan with us. Not only is he out with Dry Bar Comedy. Now, are you only on Dry Bar Comedy when you're doing your internet shows, or are you on a couple? I know Angel Studios is carrying some of them.
Dry Bar is Angel Studios thing. Well, that's not my personal thing. And I've got a podcast that's on the FLF network. And you can get to that. You can get all my stuff from the website. If you go to johnbranyan.com, it's all,
which we have.
That's the nerve center. It's the epicenter of all things John Branyan.
So you can just go to johnbranyan.com or Google him, because you Google him, you're going to get a plethora of information about the gentleman.
And if you'll Google plethora, then you'll know what he means.
That means yes. Mm-hmm. And which it took me about 3 weeks to figure out how to actually correctly say plethora. There was many other mistakes for a while. So I've been practicing that one, Mr. Branyan.
See Three Amigos?
I'm sorry?
Three Amigos? Plethora? That was a great bit in Three Amigos. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There are myriad ways to say plethora.
Right. Shame on you, Kristian. All right.
I'm a horrible person. Yeah. So now, are you going to be going out on tour again soon, or are you just kind of doing select club appearances?
Yeah, I don't do hardly any clubs. I haven't done clubs for a long time, and I don't really tour. I'm not a draw. The people that can tour are the ones who many folks want to buy tickets to see their show, and I am not one of those people. So
I would buy a ticket.
Well, but that's one. So if you would buy a $30,000 ticket, then maybe I could go and tour. But the guys who are promoters are interested in people who will have other people pay money to come and see their show. So I don't tour. I do corporate stuff. I do a lot of church shows, one-offs and things like that. If you're in Central Indiana in August, I will be doing a show at the South Branch of the Kokomo Library. So that'll be a free show. It's a family improv workshop. And,
nice.
Yeah, you can. It's another thing that I've been doing is teaching families how to do improv so that they like each other better.
I was going to say, so they all get along. And
yeah, there's a lot of families that don't know how to laugh at each other. And it creates a lot of crisis and a lot of stress, and it breaks up a lot of families, and there's no reason for it, because the reason that God gave us comedy is so that we can suffer well, and a lot of people just don't have the tool set to use it. We had an occasion a little while back. My daughter was teaching the toddlers at our church, and she had them in a circle, and they were going around making animal sounds. God made kitties. What does a kitty say? And all the little kids would go meow, 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 meow all the way around. And God made puppies. What does a puppy say? And woof, 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 all the way around. And she said, God made frogs. What does a frog say? And there was like ribbit, 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 ribbit. And it got to this little guy here on the end, just a little toddler. And he made the perfect bullfrog sound. It was like, oh, it comes out of this little guy. Right. And everybody in the room did what Andy's doing. They fell apart. It was the funniest thing. Well, the little boy started to cry.
Oh, no.
Because he thought everybody was laughing at him and making fun of him. And he had
not laughing with him.
Well, he evidently, and this is when it hit me. It's like, oh, there are families that don't laugh at each other. Right. And so this little kid grew up thinking that laughter is a thing that's bad. If people laugh at you, then that's not a good thing. And so that was kind of what got me thinking about how we just need to teach these families how to, kids need to be okay with laughing, with adults laughing at them, and adults need to be okay with other adults laughing at them too, because it's so unhealthy to be afraid of having people see your stupid, is what I call it.
Your vulnerable side, yeah.
Yeah, because we've all got stupidity in us, and that stupidity, I talk about that on stage. People ask me, do you think God has a sense of humor? And I'm like, oh yeah, he made you.
I was gonna say hello.
I know people see we're stupid every Friday at 4 p.m. Central.
Absolutely,
it's so important.
Now, and I noticed here on one of your pages, I wrote this one down because I thought it was great. Tolerance will fill you with hate. What was that all about? Why were you? I mean,
tolerance will fill you with hate.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever talked to somebody who identifies as a tolerant person? Have you had a conversation with the tolerant people among us? Right. It is not a pleasant experience.
Right.
I find it hard to tolerate them, but yes.
They are some of the most thin-skinned, unpleasant, short-fused, high-strung people that you will ever meet. All these people who are tolerating everybody. They have zero ability. They actually have zero ability to tolerate people. They're just insufferable.
It's just because they've been conditioned to be that way. Everything's got to be upsetting you, and it's like, and that's why I love the fact that this whole family thing, because you're right. We've got to learn to be able to laugh at each other, and you know what? I mean, I remember as a kid, we all made fun of each other all the time. I do it at my job, and I work with a bunch of different races. We have fun with it because we know we're having fun and we're not taking it personal. Everybody's so on edge about everything nowadays. It's like, just lighten up.
Well, if we're not, if I'm not making fun of you, then there's a good chance that I don't really care much about it. I mean, and I'm not saying that to be, it's just the truth that the people that you care about, the people that you're the closest with, are the people that you do tease all the time, especially men. Men are,
good Lord, yes.
Men, I don't know. I hung up the phone. I was talking to a buddy of mine on the phone, and my wife was overhearing it. This was years ago. And I hung up, and she goes, "Who were you talking to?" And I said, "It was Jack." And she goes, "The way that you talk to him," he goes, I don't know why he's your friend. And she said she was concerned. And I said, "Jack," I said, "if I didn't talk to him like that, he would think I didn't like him."
Yeah. Think something was wrong.
He'd think there's a problem.
You need me to call somebody?
The other side of that conversation either. Like, it was probably 10 times worse on the other side.
Yeah. You have to. Yeah, I didn't say that to her. I said, you should have heard what was coming back at me on the other side. But that is once you get to that level where you just let it fly, with your friends, then that's a relationship that's a relationship at another level. And especially if you've got that at your home, if you've got a family where all of your foils and all of your flaws are right out there on the table, and everybody not only knows what they are, but they're constantly reminding you of all of the things that are wrong with you. That's a safe place to be, man.
Yeah. You can't get much better than that. Oh, there's Mrs. A right there. Mrs. A, we need salsa.
Is that the salsa lady?
That is our salsa lady. That is Mrs. A, Leah Aguayo.
Mango pineapple, please.
Yeah. Now, but the thing is, too, when you're making fun, you can get hurtful. But I mean, I'm sure. I mean, because you do such. I hate to use the term clean comedy, but it is. It's what it is. And
you hate to use that term?
Well, a lot of comedians, even though they are clean comics, they don't like that term because it narrows them into this thing. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with that? What is wrong with being in a clean comedy niche? But I just like to be known as a comic. Well, you're a comic that doesn't have to drop F-bombs every 5 seconds, which, I mean, I get it. I did stand up for a while. I did improv and things like that. I get how that can trigger some laughter and stuff. But the thing is, if you can do the entire show without it, you're on a genius level, and to make people heartily laugh, that's how it needs to be done. And that's how families do it. So why can't you do it out in a comedy club or, out in public? Why is that so hard?
It's how some families do it. The families are, it's a learning process. Some people have it instinctively. My family's always sort of had it instinctively, but not all families do. But the key is to know what's funny about yourself. That's what I teach in the workshops. It's like, I don't want you to worry about the other members of your family. I want you to think about you. We're going to concentrate on you, and you have to know what's funny about you, what's different, what's weird, what's quirky, what's stupid, and what are the things that you hope that you can get away with doing or thinking and no one's going to know. What are the things that you're trying to keep everybody else from knowing? Those are the things that we're going to pull out and put on the table. The thing that you are terrified that your family is going to find out about, that's what we're going to put on the table.
And then everybody's going to know. It's not just your family. Now, do you talk about a lot of this in your podcast? Or I was completely unaware. I'm not sure how I missed it, but I did not know that you were doing a podcast.
I can't believe that.
That
cuts me deeply. The podcast is a lot of we do talk a lot of comedy, not tons of it, but it's part of our lives, and so we talk about it from time to time. But the podcast is a lot of cultural commentary, and we make fun of my son-in-law for his various implements of death that he uses on the moles in his backyard. We check in on him. He's developed a number of processes that he uses to eradicate moles in his backyard. And
you're gonna die, gopher.
Yeah, we talk about frisbee golf. We talk about all kinds of stuff on the podcast.
Okay, well, and now what's the name of the podcast?
It's called The Comedian Next Door.
The Comedian Next Door. All right. And is it like a weekly thing, or do you guys just block episodes and then you're done? Or
yeah, it comes out every Monday, and I also do a podcast that comes out later in the week, usually on Thursday, but sometimes it doesn't come out till Friday, and it's a riff session that I do with my various people. We have other comics on from time to time, but it's me and Joan DeVivo, who plays guitar for Casting Crowns. Name drop. Yeah. And then my son-in-law Luke usually shows up, and we all just kind of come in with concepts for comedy, and then we just riff on it. So it's a free for all usually.
Nice. Does he come in every week going, I found a new way to kill a mole? It's awesome.
Well, Luke, I never know what Luke's going to talk about, but Juwan is super funny. He's a guy who, it doesn't matter what you ask or what you suggest. Juwan immediately jumps in with a comment, even if he has no idea what he's talking about. He's always the first one to say something, and so I think about Juwan a lot, and I bring him up in the workshop. I go, "This is what you want. You mean you want to be fearless?" And it's like, "Well, here's a thought. I haven't checked this out. This might be completely stupid. Here we go." And there's just no filter, and off he goes. And
I was gonna say, like, is it just completely out of the blue? You guys are talking about how whales are funny. He goes, "Tomato soup is not anything like."
No, it's not. It's not random. It's always connected to the subject. But he just doesn't hesitate. You know, a lot of people, if you ask them something, like you ask them about whales or something like that, how do whales migrate or whatever? Juwan has no idea, but he will be the first one to tell you how whales migrate. He has no idea what he's talking about. But he launches into it.
The sun sets in the west. The whales all pull together. And they decide we're going east, but then we're going to go north, and
he'll come up with an elaborate explanation. We had a friend of ours on when we were doing we had a streaming show on Sunday night, and Juwan was a part of that. And one of our favorite episodes was, we have a friend that lives in Australia, and we called her up and had her teach us how to speak Australian.
Oh, jeez.
It was so funny. And so she had this list of words that she had, and we were supposed to figure out what they meant in Australian. Yeah. And one of them was rock melon. And rock melon. And Juwan jumps in. I go, the word is rock melon. Before anybody else could speak, Juwan jumps in and goes, "That's when you got a hard head. That means you got a really hard head, and you do stupid things." And then he breaks into an Australian accent. He goes, "Why'd you light the dynamite, you rock melon?" And Jasmine, that's the girl from Australia, she fell apart. She couldn't even continue.
Jeez. Oh, that's genius.
That's great.
Oh my gosh. All right. So and now that okay, that's the one on Monday, or that's the Friday or Thursday. I'm sorry.
Well, we're not doing that anymore. We were doing that was during quarantine.
Oh, that was the live stream. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, during quarantine, we had to do something to keep from,
losing your rock melon,
becoming cannibals. Yeah. And so we started a live stream, and that went on for about 4 years. So
wow. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, again, for those listening on the audio version, we've got comedian John Branyan out here who is actually teaching comedy writing. He's got courses online. He can also do one-on-one instruction with you. Just go to johnbranyan.com. You can find out all the information about any of this. Now, and you also, like you said, you'll go out and do appearances at churches and things like that if you're invited out or whatever. And so if you've got a church in the area, John's out in the Midwest here near me, kind of, in a way. I'm ish. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I live in Indiana. Yeah. I can get to a lot of places from central Indiana.
Yeah. There's
a lot of roads that,
there's these things called cars.
There is. In fact, I was thinking, think about it. If you go outside your house, wherever you live within the sound of my voice, if you go out and look at the road that runs past your house, you can get on that road, and that will take you to my house. Have you ever thought about that? That you can,
at a certain point.
Yep.
Several left and right turns, you're going to end up there.
Mm-hmm. That same road connects your house and my house, which is, it just feels important to me. I don't know. It feels like there's something significant that needs to be pointed out to people.
Because we've all, especially after the whole COVID thing, we've all lost our sense of being out there,
connectedness, right?
And we all decided we're just going to hole up, and that's kind of why I really went back into podcasting, because I was trying to reach out to people, and it was right before COVID hit, and
right. That's what I'm saying.
Radio. Yeah,
that we are tethered together by a strip of asphalt,
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And I'm only as far away as your driveway.
Yeah,
as it turns out.
So I think Indy is only about 8 hours from here. So,
well, it depends on how fast you drive.
Right.
6.5 hours from here. So, I'll head out, and then we're going to we'll go to Chick-fil-A.
Steak and Shake. We're not going to go to
Steak and Shake.
We're not going to go to Chick-fil-A here. Don't get me started on that. I had a corporate show that I did for the Chick-fil-A people. I was in the same room as the upper echelon at Chick-fil-A. And I did not start my show until I got this off my I told them that. I said, I am not going to do comedy for you people until I have an answer about why there is no Chick-fil-A in my hometown. And I said, I've lived there for a number of years. I've heard whispers of it. I've heard rumors. And there is no Chick-fil-A. And so I want an answer right now. And they gave me one. And then I had to do comedy because I was like, well, okay.
Was there some posterior mentions and no?
Oh, you know how those corporate people are. They're worried about being profitable.
Right.
Which, and I scolded them for that. I said, look, there's more.
It's not all about the money, man.
Right. There's people who are not eating Chick-fil-A sandwiches because we can't get to them, and you're worried about the bottom line.
Right.
I think you guys need to get your priorities in order.
Did you ask them if they'd ever seen Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. Because I swear, everywhere you see a Chick-fil-A, they're in the most awkward places to get in and out of, but yet there is still a line circling 9 buildings to get into that stupid Chick-fil-A. And then by the time you get there and get out, you might as well have eaten your food. But I don't know.
And they didn't seem compelled to ask me to join their board either. So after that, so
we've taken your opinion and we've applied it, and it doesn't seem to process very well with us. So thank you.
They didn't seem to zero in on my keen business sense and think that was something that they could use.
Yeah, actually, the Bacon Whisperer there, he is from Indy. He's out there. So,
oh, is he?
Yeah. If
does he live there now? Does he live in Indy now, or is he?
Yeah,
I believe
yes, sir.
Does, yeah.
Okay.
He's a local out there. Yeah. So now this is your biggest thing you've got going on is all these courses. Now you said you had something else starting up here again soon, sir.
I'm going to start a series of workshops. It'll be a long running workshop, and you'll sign up for it. I'm talking to a couple of universities too about doing some online teaching for them, because that's becoming a big deal. There's a lot of universities are doing all kinds of different subjects that people can sign up for, and they don't have to leave their houses. They can go out and get a folding chair and sit out in their lawn and learn how to.
There's doctors doing open heart surgery on their dogs in the backyard.
I haven't heard about that one, but
you clamp the aorta here and hold on. Yeah, all right. And we're going to dig into this liver and
taxidermy.
Yeah. Well, eventually it would be taxidermy after.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
doing that.
To taxidermy. There you go.
And you can hit me up and I'll teach you how to be funny.
There it is.
Funnier.
Funny. You just expand it. That's all you're doing. Mm-hmm. Bringing the extra funny out is what you do.
Well, I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book about my comedy course. It's called Life is Hardy Har Hard. And
and there's a little fishing going on there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's actually, if you see, the line is connected to a seagull that's flying away, and that's in the book. But yeah, it teaches you how to be funny, because life is hard.
Now, can we get that book online, like on Amazon, or?
It is on Amazon. It is in the website.
And I was going to say, obviously, on your page and everything. So
I'm everywhere, man. My tendrils are reaching out from central Indiana and digging into every facet of. I mean, it's going to be a race between me and the salsa lady to see whether I get to California or she gets to Indiana first. We'll see.
This could be a very interesting challenge at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so these are your next biggest things you've got going on, and I know you've got a lot of other things happening, so I'm not gonna hold you much longer, sir. We do have a little thing that
Random questions.
I knew it was coming up. We have what's called Random Questions of Insanity. I know we're nearing the end of the show here, so and this guy up in the rafters gets very excited when it's time. He senses it for some reason, so he starts yelling that he wants to hear Random Questions of Insanity. It's a kind of a mental Rorschach test of your personality and how you handle things, and your complete sanity is at stake. So we were just wondering if you'd like to play along with us.
Sure. A chance to reveal the unquestioning truth about my psyche. Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's do that publicly now.
Yeah, right. Let's just delve right in.
What could go wrong?
Exactly.
Oh, God. You have no idea, but we'll find out. So we have 2 base questions, and I'm thinking both of these would be good. The first one is, what is the best James Bond film in your opinion?
Casino Royale.
Oh, yeah. There was no hesitation on that.
That's not even hard. It also has the best theme music.
That's true.
That is true. Very good point. Ooh, that's another sub question that we got to add on to this. Now, who is your favorite Bond? Who's the best Bond?
Probably. I gotta go with Roger Moore.
Ooh, yeah. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a James Bond movie night one time. I'm only 6.5 hours away, unless I really gun it in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Or stop at Chick-fil-A on the way there, and then I'll bring it now. Okay. All right. Second question: what is your favorite sandwich, and what all is on it?
Well, it depends. Is a taco a sandwich?
Yes.
We'll
There you
allow
go.
it. Yeah.
It just taco. Okay, now is it just like a basic taco, or do you prefer chicken, or doesn't matter?
No, beef taco with lettuce, tomato, and cheese. That's it. I don't
That's
need
it.
any sour cream. I don't need any of that refried beans or guac or any of the other abominable things that people put on tacos. It's if you want that stuff, then get nachos. You don't order tacos.
Oh, but
If
see,
you, if you want all that other
good.
junk, just order nachos. But yeah, taco is the best sandwich.
Is there a particular taco from a restaurant that you get that is the best taco, or is it just tacos in general?
Any taco is a okay taco.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a bad taco. There's no such thing as bad pizza unless you go to Cece's.
That's
But,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But yes, pizza is one of the most perfect foods that God has given us.
That's true.
And it covers all the food groups, according to the food triangle that is now totally unhealthy for you. So
right, it covers.
Yeah. All right, Andy.
What was your favorite toy to play with as a child?
At how young a child?
Whatever toy that sparks that memory of. I say toy as a child. What comes to mind?
Well, there were a couple of them. If I had to narrow it down to one, what was the one that I played with the most often? It would have been my Johnny West action figure.
Nice.
Oh, wow. That's a nice pool. I hadn't.
Well, Johnny West evolved as I got older, because he was a regular action figure when I was young, and
right.
I could play with. But as I got older, he scaled with me, and so I was able to tie a rope around him and throw him out the window when I got to be 10, 11 years old. I could drag him behind my bicycle, he and his horse.
Yeah.
Johnny West was a versatile toy. He lasted me for a long, long time.
Nice. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? I'm going to go with this. Ice cream, cake, or pie?
What kind of pie?
Your choice.
Any kind of pie?
Yeah.
Raspberry pie is top notch. So
all right. I like that. Raspberry pie. I don't think I've ever had a raspberry pie, to be honest.
Goodness gracious.
I feel like I've totally missed out on something here.
Sheltered life.
It is true. But if there's anything better than chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, I'm sure that's probably the close second.
Yeah. Well, cake is not even on the list.
Yeah, cake's kind of boring.
Yeah.
But it works. Not really.
It works for some.
Yeah, for some.
Works for some people. Some people have really low standards. And you got to have dessert for those people too. It's not fair. It's not fair for us discerning people to have all the desserts. There needs to be dessert for people who just make poor decisions. I think they shouldn't have to go without.
Okay. I was gonna say no. All right, Andy, go ahead.
What was the funniest way you've ever broken the law? And feel free to take the fifth on this one if you have to.
The funniest way I've ever broken the law?
Yeah.
Well, I've gotten speeding tickets, a few of them. I haven't actually broken the law. I've never been locked up. I've never been arrested. The thing that pops into my mind is I was dating my wife, and there was another couple that was dating, and we got a bucket of chicken from from a restaurant that I don't want to give a free plug to. And we took the chicken up on top of a hill next to the high school or the junior high school that was down from my house a little bit. And so we were eating it up there under the stars.
Right.
And the cops pulled up with the searchlights and everything, and they came running up. Apparently somebody had called the police because they heard us making a commotion over there, and the cops said we got a complaint, so we came to see what was going on. And it's like, well, you caught us. We're eating chicken up here in this public place, and so it wasn't particularly funny until the cop went away, and then we were reenacting it and retelling the story. And then, when we got done with it, it was like a SWAT team and helicopters and
coming out with armed drumsticks and
right. And there was mortar fire and everything, and we're just eating our chicken.
Put the chicken down and walk away, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. It's too delicious.
11 herbs and spices.
Oh, good Lord. Let's see. What is the best way to travel?
Well, it kind of depends on where you're going. If I'm going to go across town and get groceries, I don't really need to call Delta.
Sailboat.
But the best way to travel is by train, hands down.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Excellent answer.
Yeah, that's super fun. If you have not traveled by train, I recommend you book some tickets and go somewhere. Just take a day trip. We hopped on a train in Lafayette, Indiana, and we went up to Chicago. And I took the grandkids and my kids. We went up to Chicago and we went to the Museum of Science and Industry and just spent the day up there. Then we went back to the Central Station, got on the train, came home. It's so fun. Trains, you can get up and walk around. There's a dining car, you know. It's way fun.
Yeah.
Takes forever.
Yeah. But it's still, but you get scenery, and some towns are not so scenic, but yeah.
Those are fun too. The little whistle stops.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Andy.
It's your night to order pizza for the group. What are we getting?
For my group, my group will insist on a cheese pizza, which is the dumbest pizza to order.
But if you're in charge of ordering and you're getting your pizza, what are we getting?
We're getting my pizza. My pizza will just be pepperoni and occasionally sausage. It depends on where it's coming from.
Sure.
If there's a place in Kokomo here that has great sausage. It's like the really crumbly kind of sausage. It's not the big hunks of sausage like a meatball on a pizza.
Yeah.
It's the finely ground sausage.
Yeah.
And that's what we would get. And then my girls would complain because we just like cheese pizza. And I'm like, I know you do, but cheese pizza is an utter waste of time. If that's what you want, just go put some cheese on a quesadilla and put it in the microwave.
Right.
Because
there's a little tomato sauce, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is the better cat or pet? Cat or dog or fish?
For me, a fish. If I have to get a pet, I want something that you can just flush.
I was going to say get rid of easy once it's dead.
Yeah, I don't want to have to dispose of a body.
There's no hole digging. It's just dump the thing down the toilet and you can get a new one.
There he goes. Yeah. And
God bless you.
Yep.
See you in heaven. Maybe.
Fish
can be evil. So.
I pick out pets with their death in mind. Like I'm looking. I'm not looking at pets like other people do, where they go, which one is the cutest? Which one is? It's like, no, which one is going to be the easiest to dispose of when he's no longer here?
Right.
So I'd probably go fish, cat, dog.
Mm-hmm.
because dog would be the hardest to get rid of, I think. But cat, you can pretty much just throw in a trash can. Nobody's really gonna care.
Well, you can do that with hamsters too.
Oh, true.
Hamsters and gerbils and
yeah.
Well, you could flush a gerbil, I think.
You can.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Not saying I've done it.
Yeah.
PETA, just settle down. All right, Andy, one more, buddy.
Your food is bad at a restaurant. Do you say anything?
Well, if it's just bad because it doesn't taste like I wanted it to, probably not.
Okay.
But if it's bad because there's some sort of a live animal, swimming around in it,
if it's a gerbil or fish.
Yeah, if it's covered in maggots,
right.
then I probably would mention that,
sure.
at least to the server.
I'd like a few less of these rotting maggots.
Another water without a goldfish in it, please.
There we go. If this is part of the recipe, you should definitely mention this on the menu,
right?
Because I was not expecting that.
Right.
This is our fresh option.
I was not expecting to have to kill this before I ate it.
Can I get a sharper knife, please?
Yeah. Oh, well, there's one in every room if you're in the right house. Exactly. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Okay. We're going to finish with, you have 30 seconds to tell the world something. What do you want to say?
30 seconds to tell the world something. I would say that there is a God in heaven and he knows your name. So don't be so sad.
And get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I like it. Oh no, wait, hold on. That's gonna get that right there because that is a perfect answer. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got the DJ air horn, buddy.
Oh wow, that's like the golden buzzer.
Right. We just minus confetti.
Yeah.
We
and minus the lucrative contracts.
Right. Yeah. And
true.
Music that plays over it as well.
All right. Well, Mr. Branyan, I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your day to be with us again. John Branyan got all sorts of courses online. Go to johnbranyan.com. You can find his books on Amazon or his website. Google him. You'll find him on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Did I miss? You're not on TikTok, are you?
No.
Only boneheads are on TikTok. Come on, jeez.
Yeah.
We're boneheads.
We are on
TikTok. No, not we. We tried to, but they didn't like us, so they kicked us. But the cool kids don't need to be on TikTok, I guess, is what I'm saying, or trying to fabricate a lie about. But John, thank you again so much for hanging out with us. We will. I'd love to have you back if you ever have some more time, and we can talk about some more of your comedy and all your works, man.
All right, we'll do it.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. John Branyan. Take him out, and there he is. All right. Oh man. God, he's so fun.
He's good.
Man, I think maybe we need to book some classes with Mr. Branyan there.
Probably.
I'm just yeah. So I got nothing more to say about that because I'm just going to dig us into a deeper hole.
No, exactly. Yeah, just leave it as is. But hey, next week,
let it go. Oh, yeah, next week. There it is, right there.
Rich Manley.
Man, about what happened here? Why didn't that go away?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I hit the wrong button. There we go. Actor, adventure illusionist, Rich Manley. He's actually got a show on. Oh goodness gracious, is it Apple TV?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure. Well, we'll find out next week. I watched a couple episodes there. It was pretty cool. It's imagine there's a story behind it, but it's also like what's the weird little musician, David Blaine. Imagine him traveling the world on like an adventure storytelling. It's very, very, very cool. And a lot of fun. So be with us next week to join with this gentleman. And is there it is. There's the end music. the get the heck off the air music.
Right.
So we really appreciate y'all being with us. Hey, make sure to like, follow, subscribe. If you're out there, tell a friend. We'd love to hear from you. So, we got the chat. You can check out our website, therandomkristianshow.com. Be a part of the game. We're here almost every Friday.
Yeah.
It's a random Friday thing. It's in the name. I'm just saying. Right here on the shirt. If you want a shirt, we got them for sale. You can check them out. Hit me up, therandomkristianshow.com. There it is right there. There's what that shirt looks like. We got ones with
we got
logos and stuff. It's really cool. And stickers, hats, things like that. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and take off. We will see you all next week with Rich Manley. Again, big thanks and thank yous and much love to Mr. John Branyan. We will see you when I find the end credits button. Every week, it's like my fatal weakness. I'm not sure why. It's somewhere in here. Oh, maybe it's under the video clips file that I can't find.
Yeah. Okay.
Peace out, kids. Love you. Be good. God bless you.